was 18 when the wall came down. I loved Scotland and I took the opportunity of studying, which is an opportunity I would never have dreamt of having growing up in East Germany. It feels to me like Scotland has been on quite a journey. I came to Scotland in 1993, then basically met my husband and never made it back to Germany. Having grown up in quite an insular country, being able to move anywhere within Europe without any problems made my life what it is now. I feel Scottish by choice, not just German, but Scottish by choice, and I have never encountered any anti-European sentiment in Scotland. I did experience some of that when I lived in England, I have to admit. I felt more than welcome since coming here, and the whole feel like the school, they're doing a lot to integrate, and there's definitely an international aspect to life in Scotland that I hadn't experienced in England. EU immigrants contribute more to this country than they take out, and from my own personal experiences, it's the strong people who go abroad and make a life for themselves in a different country. It's not an easy thing to do, and it's the people who have the resources and the willingness to work and to contribute to an economy who go abroad.
It's disingenuous of Patrick to say that no means out and yes means in, when actually the opposite is true.
I voted to stay in the UK because I'm all for cooperation and not isolation. And also we hadn't been in Scotland for that long and weren't really very familiar with all the issues. And I like evidence-based politics and I like to form my opinions on evidence that I've seen.
And I have a sneaking suspicion that actually you won't see too much difference on either side of the border on this one.
I felt like a second-class citizen not having a vote in the EU referendum, even though this vote has affected me much more than many other people in this country. And not just me, but my whole family. They're all British. As it stands at the moment, I would not even get indefinite leave to remain, which is rather worrying.
You remain welcome here. Scotland is your home.
Having a vote, though, in the independence referendum, I feel much more included in Scotland and much more welcome. And Nicola Sturgeon came out in support of EU immigrants on the day after the Brexit vote, and I really appreciated that.
And they've lied about this here tonight too, and it's not good enough. You deserve the truth. You deserve the truth.
The Brexit referendum, I think, galvanised me to get more active in finding out more about the viability of an independent Scotland. And I think gradually, as I've been finding out more and more, my mind has been changed about it. I also went in search of other news sources because I had been relying on the BBC, but there had been this creeping feeling that the BBC's reporting was becoming rather biased for me. I used to read The Guardian and relied on the BBC, but I've discovered other newspapers like The National, whose reporting is a lot more positive than that of a lot of the national media. And I also use new media like Bella Caledonia and Wings Over Scotland now.
I say to the SNP, now is not the time.
More and more it looks to me like Scotland wants to go into a different direction to the rest of the UK, but their progress is hampered by being in the Union. I think Scotland could be a leader in Europe as in terms of renewable energies. If Scotland goes it alone, they would be able to invest and profit from all the resources that are available to them. I have always been interested in politics and I've always had a good sense of justice, I think, but I've never been politically involved. I found a Facebook group, Germans for Scottish Independence, and I asked them whether they have a Twitter handle. This is how I set up Germans for ScotRef. I see this as a good way to connect with other Germans or indeed other European nationals in Scotland. Get involved with your local yes group, I have found my local one quite a fun bunch. I hope I can stay, but the UK government has given us no reassurances. They wanted to use us as bargaining chips or negotiating capital, but I say you don't do that with people, you don't do that with people's lives. And if they have to use people as negotiating capital, then they probably haven't got a lot of other negotiating capital to work with. It is not just me, it's my husband and the 4 children and all our extended family that will be affected by this. I feel fairly confident that Scottish independence will happen, but I think there's a lot of work to do, there's a lot of information to get out to people.
To have a fair referendum, the people of Scotland need to know what it is they're voting for. They need to know what Brexit looks like, so it's got to be after the Brexit process has played out.
We have brought so much to this country and it's important to have a voice, and we do have a voice in this referendum, unlike in the EU referendum last year. So do use it and vote yes. I will be voting yes.